Jigglypuff, a balloon Pokémon. It has large, friendly eyes, and it sings a pleasant song.
Today's challenge, we're taking on Jigglypuff, that pink round goofball of a character. And for today's challenge, we'll be using Squirtle as the rival's Pokemon. So we're going to be figuring that out today. So after losing to our rival for the first time during that first fight, we came to understand really quick that Jigglypuff does not have an offensive move for us to use at this time until it learns Pound at level 9. So we're going to have to use the Pokemon's ability of Struggle, which means that we have to go through all of his power moves for Sing and Defensive Curl, which is about 55 power moves, in order to learn, or not learn, but use the ability of Struggle, which will allow us to just hit the Pokemon essentially, but also we will take damage in the process of doing that as well, which is going to take us quite a while. Now, we finally learned Pound, and we're able to take on our first gym leader, Brock, over in Pewter City. So after learning Pound, I think we have what it takes to take on Brock for the first time. Now, I'm going to use this time to really speak on Jigglypuff's stats. Now, at the bottom left, you'll see that Jigglypuff has a high hit points or health points for stats, but its attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed are all much lower end for this lovely Pokemon. So my theory currently is that this Pokemon has high health because its defense is just so low, along with its special defense. So that way it can take larger hits from all different kinds of Pokemon. Now, as I'm fighting Brock in this time, we don't really have any strong kind of moves to use against him. And so going back to those stats, Brock has a high defensive Pokemon with Geodude and Onix. And so we don't have a high attack. So we keep using our only move, which is a physical attack, which really, and is normal, not going to help us a lot during this challenge, unfortunately, at this time. And so we try to figure a way to get through it. I use some potions. I'm trying to stay alive fighting Onix, but I know this is not going to go well, and this probably will be our next feint, unfortunately, moving forward. So after doing some training, getting up to level 19, I think I have what it takes to beat down Brock. We're just strong enough at this point where our Pound move is going to be able to handle his Geodude and his Onix, hopefully. So we got through Geodude, and now it's time to take on Onix, and hopefully we can have some more success using Pound at that stronger level. So instead, we use Rollout just because it gets stronger and stronger and stronger as we keep moving forward, and we get that first gym badge. So after beating Brock and getting through Mount Moon, we take on our rival, I think, for the true first battle to see how we're going to do moving forward in this challenge. So with Jigglypuff, it's going to be our, a 1v4 kind of battle, and I think we have what it takes. We're strong enough, and I think our level difference is really going to be the defying factor here for this battle. So as you can see, we're level 25 compared to a 17. So in this time, we use Rollout, Rock beating that flying type, get through his Rattata, get through the Squirtle, and then with Abra, we just use a Pound and we call it a day. So after that, though, I think I have the confidence to take on Misty for the Cerulean Gym badge. And so again, we're going to be looking back at our stats here, guys, because if you look at Staryu and Starmie stats, they are fast and their special attack is insane compared to a lot of other Pokemon, especially early on. So as you see, no matter, even though I'm a higher level and I probably have a little more attack now, Starmie specifically uses that speed and special attack heavily against me right now, as I am a higher level. It's so much faster, and that special attack is doing so much more damage, even though I am a normal type as well, and it is a water type that's impacting me. Also, that water pulse does not help when I keep getting confused and becoming literally my own worst enemy, and Misty decides to heal her Pokemon like a good trainer she is. And like that, we lost. However, at this time, I think it's smart for me to train up and get a stronger move just so I can handle taking out these Pokemon. At this point, I train up to level 34 and learn Body Slam. I think it's time for us to replace Pound. And even though it is still a physical attack, it is a strong move nonetheless. And so we get to Fighter, and that Staryu takes out pretty quick as long we keep using that Body Slam. And just like that, we got our second gym badge, which is pretty great. So after beating Misty, I think this is a perfect time for us to learn a special move for the first time. And so we're going to steal that Pokemon's move, Starmie's, that she used against us so heavily. And we're going to pick up Water Pulse and get that special move. And it's going to be critical for us in a lot of these future matches, if you don't know. So after that, though, I meet Rival again on SS Anne after he had an interesting conversation with the captain. So we're going to see if we can take on his team and, put him back in his place before we keep moving on. At this point, we're at 9 faints, so we got a little farther with faints than Kingler, but obviously we're not at that point we were for Beedrill with 44, but during this time, Beedrill was about the same faints as well. So we use that body slam. This level difference is stark. This is not a challenge. This is more of an annoyance getting through this point. After that, though, Lieutenant Surge, and it's the same song and dance that we have beating Rival this last time. Our body slam and our moves are just too strong at the current moment, even though Raichu and Pikachu are somewhat of a fast Pokemon. It just didn't stand. So after that, though, we take on Giovanni for the first time, and like you see, that Water Pulse is really going to be a nuisance for him. And even with this Kangaskhan, we get through it pretty quick. So then we go on to see Erica after being Giovanni, and it's the same thing. These Pokemon are not an issue for us. I do kind of make it comical though, because I remember playing this with Kingler, and Erica was terrifying for me. Just because, grass being electric, it was not a good time. So we meet Rival one more time in Lavender Town right before we go and hang out with the ghosts. Again, Water Pulse coming in clutch. Execute is not that hard. Kadabra, same thing. Wartortle, he's not that strong or has that defense to him yet, so we get through it pretty quick. Koga now Koga is always kind of a thorn in my side whenever we get through these challenges, just because Koga is a very strategic player, especially moving forward. So even though we got poisoned and even though we're making it through, we're doing okay at this point. So I try to use that full restore, try not to deal with that poison that he always puts on us, and his moves are just strong. It's just taking us out. I try to be tough, and I get knocked out. So I speed us right back up into the battle. I didn't even take a second. I went right back to go fighting Koga, just because I felt like we should have got that win. This should not have gone down like that. So I heal it, use Body Slam one more time, and we pull through. So we meet Rival once again, and as you can see, just because we're using Jigglypuff so much, and I really don't try avoiding a lot of the battles or other trainers because I could see the potential of having just our stats be the best they can be. Jigglypuff, or Dolly, based off the singer, did not realize it was a male till after I made the nickname, is just so much stronger. The level difference is really impactful at this point. However, until we get to Blastoise, as you see, this guy's not going down as fast as I'd like. And why? Blastoise has a high defense, just kind of like our Onix and Geodude situation. My physical moves aren't going to be that strong against him. And with Blastoise, he's a very smart Pokemon. I haven't used him before. I'm more of a Bulbasaur or Venusaur kind of type guy. And so with that, he has that Rain Dance and his water moves, and it just makes it a little more challenging to get through and protect. He's just a sturdy guy, and it takes a little bit to kind of pull through. We're both paralyzed. This match is taking way longer than it did in the past. I think this is the first time I'm encountering Blastoise with Rival at this time as well. If you see other Pokemon as well, those are my HM Pokemon. Those are guys that are helping us get through the game. The rules that I have, if you'll see, is that if I faint, the rest of those Pokemon must faint as well in order for us to keep playing the challenge. They cannot attack. They cannot do anything. I can't use them. Towards later in the game, it doesn't matter because they're all like level 10 because we caught them early on to use for the HMs. So, but as you see, look at my health on this. If we're bringing back to the actual match here, I am teetering on the edge. I do not want to lose to this Rival. 5 health. I decide, what's one Body Slam? Critical hit, I don't know how I pulled this off. We're not faster than him, so that critical hit is ultra rare, even more. However, though, I go and say hi to Giovanni once again, just to show him that this trainer with a pink little puffball is going to put him in his place as, Team Rocket's leader of the organization. I've seen the movie. I'm not scared. So that Kangaskhan, really our biggest battle here. And again, Rhyhorn, we got that Water Pulse, easy peasy. And yes, you did lose again. But at this time, we also learned Psychic, which is going to be an amazing move for us moving forward. Another special attack that's going to help us, i.e. against Sabrina. And then if you remember Agatha later on with her poison types, it's going to be an awesome move for us to have. It's very powerful. I believe a 90 attack damage as well. Because of that, though, we cruise through Sabrina real easy. Now, Blaine has always been a thorn in my side. When I did Beedrill, he was the actual worst to get through. I had to stall him out, his Arcanine, just because his Arcanine kept fire blasting us, like we just did right now. And so with this, though, I'm going to stall him out just a little bit. Thankfully, I'm not weak against fire types like Beedrill. Kingler, obviously. I think I blinked and I got passed through Blaine. But with this, though, we're able to use our water pulses in a better position and take him out. After that, though, we go and fight Giovanni. And Giovanni, again, he's been a footnote in this journey so far. Maybe I'll get a Pokemon one day, maybe an electric type, and he won't be a footnote for our challenge. But at this point, all the Pokemon have been able to cruise through him pretty easily. Not much of a challenge. And with that, we're going to get our last 8th gym bat. Before we take on the Elite Four, though, we got to fight Rival one more time. So I didn't record this part, but at this point, we've also learned Shockwave to replace one of our moves. And that Shockwave, we learned it just because of Blastoise, Pidgeot. It's going to be a great special attack move to use against not only Rival, but lower league coming up soon to have that electric type move to kind of help out against those kind of types, which will be really, really important. So as you see, though, we're making quick work with the Rival right now. Taking my time trying to figure out what to do. I don't want to get another loss right now. I think we're on a good run. The only loss we've had for this whole journey, really, since Misty, when we were getting our butts handed to us by a star, was with Koga, and that was just poor battling with that one, and he probably pulled that one off. Shockwave, see, coming in clutch, taking that Blastoise, and we're off to fight the Elite Four. So I get to lower league, I use that Shockwave. This is just a back and forth kind of battle. There was nothing special about this one in my opinion. We just kept going back and forth, back and forth. Cloister, again, I wasn't too worried. Slowbro did take a minute. Slowbro is more of a tankier Pokemon in this challenge, and it became a little troubling for us. And I'd never been frozen so many times getting through this, and it made me a little more nervous. I was more nervous for this at this point than I was with Beedrill, and he is a bug poison type. So we're making work. Again, we get frozen. Thankfully, again, I'm not a professional player, nor will I ever say I'm one, so me using items is going to be my my Achilles, or not my Achilles heel, that's the opposite of what I'm trying to say, is my my clutch opportunity, just because I'm going to take full advantage of everything that is available to me during these challenges. I already have a tough time going through a lot of these, as you will see soon. Jigglypuff ranks up really fast in my run feints, and that's because we get to fight Bruno, a fighting type, the strongest fighting type trainer in all of this game, where he has a Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, and a Machamp. I didn't even get to see his second fighting type. We died after that. Hitmonlee decided to say hi. We died again. Hitmonchamp decided to say hi again. Finally made it to Machamp. Takes me out in one move. And again, one move. And at this point, I decide, hey, we got to train up. I want to be strong enough to at least survive getting hit by Bruno. So since I decided to go and have a training-a-thon in the Victory Road and destroyed way more Onyxes than I want to admit, and has brought us to a level 91. And also during this time, I learned Thunder instead of Shockwave. If I'm going to have a special attack move at this point in the game, it's got to be a move to do some damage. And so we learned Thunder, and we got that through, and we cruised through Lower Lee this second time around. Okay, so after being Lower Lee, we come finally back to Bruno to bring back some menace. Hopefully get through this one last time. As you see, our total feints are up to 23. A lot higher than I would like them to be at this time. It's again, we're just trying to get through this battle with Bruno because his fighting types really are just putting in a punch into us. They were the strongest type versus our biggest competitor, and we can't even get past his Machamp. That second Onyx is merely a mystery meat to me at this point. As we get through, and we take another L. So after 4 more loses and 4 more feints, I decide let's learn the move Protect. And why do I want to choose Protect? So Protect is going to help us essentially when we get to his Machamp. And when we get to that Machamp is when we'll use that Protect, hopefully to stall out him using that Crisp Chop to stop us from dying immediately upon taking the hit. So we get through, we take out Hitmonlee. The Psychic's really coming in clutch here. We heal up before we really start fighting this Machamp. I'm going to give us every chance that we got. So we get that full restore, protect, stall us off, Psychic, we get him. It's just surviving that first couple hits, and then we get defeat Bruno. After that, though, is when we take on Agatha. Now, Agatha, I wasn't really too worried about, in my opinion, with her poison types across the board. Our Psychic is really going to be a saving kind of move here for us, along with our Body Slam and then other moves. I think it's more of us just really playing smart and getting through when it comes to Agatha. So here comes that Gengar again. They're going to keep trying to put us to sleep over and over, but I think we are going to be able to stall them out and survive those poisons as well. Sludge Bomb. We got through. Haunter. Let's get a quick heal in there. Just make sure nothing crazy happens. Psychic. And like that, we got her. So we finally get to Lance himself to take on all of his dragon buddies. This one, again, I was surprised. Usually when I get to Lance, I'm facing some trouble just because, again, those dragon types, Fairy doesn't really exist yet in this generation, and we only have Ice as really the kind of counter move, and I didn't think teaching Jigglypuff Blizzard, and then we just didn't want to spend the time to get Ice Beam, so we really got to just make sure we stall out. Again, though, it is kind of funny watching a level 93 Jigglypuff go up against a 60 Dragonite and actually not do too bad. Again, we're using our full restores to our full capacity, so that's probably why we're surviving just as much, but we're able to clear him out with a Psychic, and then his two Dragonairs aren't really much of a challenge for us. We just got to play smart to make sure we make it through and survive any other statuses he throws away. Next up, we take on our rival champion, Total Feints 27. We're feeling good. That Pidgeot didn't stand a chance. I think we're feeling pretty good about this. Pretty easy getting through the Alakazam. Now, this is the first time we're seeing his Executor fighting us in the game. And this is where I think my biggest challenge came in with fighting the rival, is just because I didn't have any moves really that could easily take out his Executor. You know, Psychic really won't do much. Body Slam, I don't think it really didn't do much either. And of course, Water Pulse isn't going to do anything to him as well. So at this point, we're really trying to figure out, just hit him enough times with a certain move. Hopefully the paralysis sticks in and we get to knock him out a little sooner. Rhydon, Water Pulse, easy. Now his Arcanine, this is when the trouble steeps in for us. Did not expect that Flamethrower to hit us whatsoever. So what do? I forget about Protect, and I use a method I used in my last challenge, was Toxic. And we use Toxic towards the end of the game as well, just because at this point we want to play the long con with a lot of these different Pokemon, just because we don't have the ability to knock them out fast enough before they can take us out with a lot stronger moves. Again, this is our first challenge as well. We're using a Pokemon that's not evolved either, so they really don't have a lot of the higher stats that Pokemon would get with evolution at the same time. So again, we meet with that Executor. In this moment, he's going to be putting us to sleep multiple times. So hopefully we can make it through. Body Slam, Paralysis, Full Restore, or Hyper Potion. Again, if you see me struggle getting through this, I usually play the game at about 7 times speed just to get through it a little more faster. Because purely we're just going to see if we can make it through the challenges. We're not going for a speed run here. I know initially I think with Kingler we tried doing a speed run, but I realize it's a little hard to do when we're going faster, and it's not really a fair way to play the game to see how fast I can beat it. So I decided to switch it up to see if, hey, can I just beat the game using this Pokemon? So we're still trying to survive this Executor. He's not a strong Pokemon. It's just getting hard to take him out at this point. Rhydon, footnote in this, besides that Earthquake. We get through with his Water Pulse. His Arcanine comes out. We got to be smarter about this Flamethrower this time around. This is going to be more of a challenge for us. We try to use that Toxic, kind of stall him out at this point. Again, that Flamethrower is really causing us a headache. It's a strong move that's just going to come for us over and over. Come on. Don't do it, Gary. He loves his Arcanine too much. He gets that full restore. We send Toxic one more time. For those that don't know our Toxic strategy, so with Toxic, if a Pokemon gets poisoned from using it, every time that poison hits, it does a stronger damage over and over and over. Essentially, you have to just wait him out maybe 4 or 5 turns, 6 potentially if it's a stronger Pokemon, and then that Toxic will clear them out unless their trainer uses a full restore, which our rival does because he ain't no champion for no reason. So essentially, we're stalling out his Flamethrower, and Flamethrower's got about 10 power moves, so that's 10 times. We gotta really make it through at minimum. I can't recall how many he's got. So it looks like he ran out. He's got using his extreme speed now, which isn't as powerful, so we can get a few more hits in before we have to resort back to Toxic. And we get that Psychic, we pull through. Time to fight this Blastoise. He's been a challenge for us in the past. So we get that Toxic going. Use Body Slam. We're making it through. Just gotta survive. Just gotta survive. And like that, our Toxic strategy comes through once again. And like that, Jigglypuff is now part of the Elite Four. He's beaten them. Hall of Fame. New champion. Thank you. But however, we're always on to our next challenge. So quick clue on who our next one's going to be. It's a ground type. Species is Lonely Pokemon if you haven't really seen from the image. But if you like this video, I hope you like, subscribe, comment. Let us know how we did. Let us know what Pokemon we want to do in the future. And thanks again for sticking around. Hopefully I'll catch you at another one.